And welcome back as we continue to meet the candidates here in Terrebonne Parish and the surrounding areas. And we talked about the office, or the position really, of coroner. And we have three candidates. And joining us now is one of those candidates, Dr. Donald Paul Schwab. Doc, good to see you. How are you?
Good to see you, Martin. Thanks for having me.
No problem. And,
Appreciate it.
we talk, and just like I've talked with everyone, the coroner doesn't get a lot of attention. Really not supposed to. It's more of an ethical position. When doctors assume positions of that magnitude, they don't always go out and proclaim what they're seeing. There's a lot of privacy involved. But just the circumstances of coroner. Let me ask you, first of all, why'd you decide to run?
Well, Martin, we had a coroner for 30 plus years. Dr. Vic Tedesco was a great friend of mine, and always had the utmost respect for Dr. Vic, and we always would talk, and I always would tell him whenever he was going to retire that I wanted to run for coroner and I wanted to succeed him, and I always told him I'd never run against him, and so in talking with Dr. Tedesco over the years, it kind of got my interest in the office, and waiting for the opportunity, and unfortunately, untimely passing away of Dr. Vic, and so here we are today with an open coroner's race.
Let me ask you, because there's a lot of investigatory things that go on in the coroner's office, and really there's a lot of things that happen that we don't know about, that the coroner really has to go in there and sort of tell the story of what took place. And we've had a lot of, you mentioned Dr. Vic, he was on our desk a few times talking about heroin and fentanyl. Those are two areas of concern, and I'm sure there would be an area of concern if you were elected coroner.
Yeah, Martin, I think that's an important point with regards to the coroner's office. Obviously, it's an investigative arm to look at deaths in the community, but I also feel like going forward, trying to make it more of an educational, preventative type thing. Let's prevent you from seeing the coroner on different diseases, and again, certainly for the fentanyl and the heroin crisis is just out of control. So hopefully the coroner's office can continue to take a role in the community to educate the public about different things, and I envision, going forward, taking on these sort of things and on a monthly basis. For instance, this month is Breast Cancer Awareness Month. Go pink. And so I think as the coroner, we need to educate our patients and in our community about the value of breast cancer awareness and preventing those breast cancer deaths. So I think that's an important part of the coroner, the role of the coroner. I do know, and again, talking with Dr. Vic for many years, he had and has a great team there running that office, and I think the team itself is really the key to the success of the coroner's office is the investigative team and the employees that work there, which I've been told on many occasions that it's a very solid foundation for that office.
How has you passed, and you have a very good practice? How has that sort of got you ready? I mean, any physician can run for coroner, but there's different fields. But how do you feel like your practice has got you ready for coroner?
Yeah, certainly being a general surgeon obviously puts the knife in our hands and makes us comfortable with the dissection of the human body, so to speak. So I think that is, but I think you're correct. I think any physician is eligible to run for coroner, and I think it's more about what you can bring to the table as the coroner rather than what you are as a in a profession, as far as your chosen field that you work in. So I think certainly being a surgeon helps that from that standpoint.
Come to think of it, I'm trying to think back as many as I can remember. You're right, probably all had a general surgeon background, come to think of it,
yeah,
so to speak. But you practice now. I'm sure it's good. A lot of doctors stay busy in this town, and this will add a few hours to the plate. But obviously, you gave it a lot of thought. Talk with your wife and kids about running it. What made the final decision?
Again, Martin, I think the discussions I've had in the past with Dr. Tedesco and now currently with the race kind of being open, wanting to just get involved in the community. Obviously, there is some political background in my family, with my father having been the parish president before. I don't have any aspirations of doing any other kind of politics, but to be able to give back to this community and participate in something I think is very important. is definitely a driving influence for me to decide to do it.
And of course, your mom was in the medical field and still in the medical field all these years. So,
Yeah.
any advice from mom?
Yeah, just be nice. That's mom's advice always.
No doubt about it. But going back to the hard issue of heroin and fentanyl. I mean, in my era, and I'm a little older than you by about 10 years. When we grew up, crack cocaine was the big thing, and marijuana was such a bad drug back then. That sort of changed now. Marijuana doesn't take the full picture today. Crack cocaine is still around, but doesn't share the limelight as much as heroin and fentanyl. Any specific idea what you would do to try to combat those two?
Martin, the fentanyl crisis is really it's mind blowing. The effect that it's had on this country as a whole, and it's imperative that we continue to educate our younger class, our younger generation, that they have to understand that when somebody says, "Hey, try this. This will be good. This will be fun. This will be," if you get a hold of the wrong stuff, that even the first time you try it could be the end of you, and the next person you go to is the corner, and they have to understand that. We've got to make them understand that they're all dangerous drugs, but the fentanyl and the heroin is really something that we've got to get the public out to know.
All right, appreciate you coming on, Dr. D.P. Schwab. Once again, he is a candidate for coroner here in Terrebonne Parish. We'll have a lot more right here on Bayou Town.